Have you ever wondered why some people can live in an English-speaking country for 10 years and still struggle to order food confidently, while someone else who has never left their hometown steps up to a microphone and speaks fluent, effortless English? It's not because of their DNA. It's not because they have a secret grammar book. And it is definitely not because they spend 5 hours a day studying. In fact, if you are spending hours a day memorizing word lists, you might actually be training your brain to become slower at speaking. Today, I am going to share a precise 30-minute daily routine. Just 30 minutes. If you follow this exact formula, it has the power to completely rewrite the way your brain processes language. But I need to make a promise to you right now. This is not your typical read a book and listen to a podcast advice. If that worked, you would already be fluent. Instead, we are going to look at the exact timeline of what happens inside your mind when you stop studying English and start conditioning your brain. We will look at the psychological shifts, the moments you will want to quit, and exactly what your speech will sound like on day 1, day 5, day 15, and beyond. By the end of this video, you won't just have a routine, you will have a completely new identity as an English speaker. If you felt stuck in the intermediate trap for months or even years, turn off your distractions. Let's look at the blueprint. Before we look at the 30-day transformation timeline, we need to break down the medicine itself. What exactly are you doing for these 30 minutes every day? Most learners fail because they treat English like a history subject. They sit down to memorize facts. But speaking a language is not a knowledge problem. It is a muscle and neurological habit. It's much closer to learning the guitar or training for a marathon. We break our 30 minutes into 3 strict 10-minute blocks. No more, no less. Block 1, the input ingestion. You do not listen to passive background noise. You select one native audio clip. It could be a podcast, a speech, or a scene from a movie that is exactly 1 or 2 minutes long. For 10 minutes, you consume this deeply. You are not looking for grammar rules. You are listening for rhythm, emphasis, and the small emotional connections between words. You listen to the same 2 minutes 5 times. Block 2, the active shadowing and micro-composition. This is where the magic happens. You take just 3 phrases from that audio clip. Instead of writing them down in a notebook to die, you speak them aloud, mimicking the exact tone. Then you immediately apply them to your own life. Let's say the speaker said, "I ended up changing my mind." You don't just repeat that sentence. You immediately create a real-life situation from your own past. Yesterday, I was going to buy a coffee, but I ended up changing my mind. You bridge the gap between their language and your reality. Block 3, the unfiltered stream of consciousness. For the final 10 minutes, you set a timer on your phone. You put away all books, all dictionaries, and all translators. You look at an object in your room, or think about a challenge you are facing at work today, and you talk to yourself out loud without stopping. If you don't know a word, you cannot look it up. You must use your existing vocabulary to describe it. If you can't think of the word refrigerator, you must say, "the cold box in the kitchen." This trains your brain's survival mechanism to stop freezing when you forget a word. Now that you know the routine, let's talk about what actually happens when you start. Let's walk down the path of a learner we will call Sarah. Sarah is intelligent. She works a professional job. and her reading comprehension is excellent. But when she opens her mouth, she feels like a completely different person. She feels small. Let's look at day 1. On day 1 of this 30-minute routine, Sarah feels a wave of motivation. She sets her timer, but within the first 4 minutes of the stream of consciousness block, reality hits. She speaks and it sounds broken. She stumbles. She hears her own voice echoing in an empty room, and a voice inside her head says, "This is ridiculous. You sound like a child. You've been studying English for years, and you can't even talk about your morning without stuttering." This is the first major psychological barrier. On day 1, your brain is actively fighting the new routine. It prefers the comfort of reading silently because reading doesn't expose your vulnerabilities. On day 1, you will feel awkward. Your jaw muscles might actually feel slightly tired, and you will feel like you are making zero progress. But then we move to day 5. By day 5, the initial excitement has completely worn off. This is where 90% of English learners quit. They look in the mirror and think, "I've done this for 5 days, and I still hesitated when my boss asked me a question today. It's not working." But let's look at what is actually happening beneath the surface on day 5. On day 5, Sarah notices something small during her 10-minute active shadowing block. She encounters a real-life situation at work. A colleague asks her why she changed the schedule. Normally, Sarah's brain would freeze. Search for a complex grammar structure, translate it from her native language, and deliver a stiff response. But because she practiced the phrase, "I ended up changing my mind just a few days prior," her vocal cords move before her anxiety can stop them. She says, "We ended up changing the plan because of the deadline. It wasn't perfect." Her accent was still there. But the transition time, the painful pause, between the question and her answer was cut in half. On day 5, your progress is invisible to the world. But the first gears in your brain are starting to turn. If you can survive the desert of the first 2 weeks, you arrive at Tuesday day 15 now. Day 15 is the turning point. This is where the compounding effect of the 30-minute routine becomes undeniable. Let's look at Sarah's situation now. It's been over 2 weeks of daily 10-minute streams of consciousness. That means she has spent 150 minutes speaking English completely unfiltered without a safety net. Something beautiful happens to her psychology around day 15. She loses her fear of being imperfect because she has forced herself to talk through her mistakes every single day for 2 weeks. Her brain no longer treats a forgotten word like a life-threatening emergency. Let's look at a real-life example. Sarah is sitting in an unexpected online meeting. Her manager suddenly says, "Sarah, can you give us an update on the client project?" Old Sarah, the one from day 1, would have felt her heart drop. Her hands would have gone cold. She would have given a 1-sentence answer just to make the spotlight go away. But day 15, Sarah takes a breath. She doesn't have the perfect vocabulary, but her brain has been trained to adapt. She remembers the cold box concept from her solo practice. She doesn't know the exact corporate term for a temporary delay, so she smoothly says, "We hit a small wall with the data transfer, but we are bypassing it today." She used simple words, but she delivered them with rhythm. Why? Because she has been feeding her brain high-quality native input for 10 minutes every day. Her brain is no longer a graveyard of isolated vocabulary words. It has become a library of ready-to-use patterns. By day 30, the routine is no longer a task on a to-do list. It has altered her neural pathways. She no longer translates from her native language because she has broken the habit of silent analysis. She thinks in English because she has practiced living in English for 30 minutes every single day. The reason most people never experience this transformation is because they are waiting for a magical day when they wake up completely fearless. They think, once I know more words, I will start speaking. But confidence is not the prerequisite for action. Action is the prerequisite for confidence. You cannot think your way into fluency. You have to speak your way there. Sarah didn't become fluent because she was special. She became fluent because she gave up the illusion that studying grammar rules would save her. She chose 30 minutes of daily, messy, imperfect action over years of comfortable silence. Look at your own life right now. You have 30 minutes. You spend it scrolling through social media or watching videos that don't move your life forward. What if you took just 30 minutes of that time and invested it back into your voice? Imagine where your career, your social life, and your self-esteem will be 30 days from right now if you actually execute this plan. Imagine walking into your next interview or meeting, looking the other person in the eye, and knowing that whatever they ask, your tongue will know exactly what to do. I want to challenge you today. Do not just watch this video and say, that was a good point. Good points don't change lives. Execution does. Your call to action. Right now, down in the comments, write this simple sentence. I am claiming my 30 minutes. By writing that, you are making a public commitment to yourself and to this community. And tomorrow morning when you wake up, your day 1 begins. 10 minutes of input, 10 minutes of micro-composition, 10 minutes of pure speaking. If you want the exact templates, audio recommendations, and specific phrases to use for your first 5 days to make this routine even easier, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. We build tools for creators and professionals, just like you every single week right here on English Elevation. The 30 days are going to pass anyway. A month from now, you will either be 30 days older or you will be a completely different English speaker. The choice is entirely yours. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next session.